And we have biophysical studies in HRV and brain and tinnitus. We conduct specific brain studies using people suffering from tinnitus, and I will explain more about it. Brain and cognitive decline, sleep quality, and by far the biofields and the stress response and a lot of things I will share with you what we're doing with BioWell change everything. Actually, with BioWell studies, we have a protocol that we use, and we need to use the full spectrum of the features that we can do with the GDV camera. I mean, we do it for people and we do it for the spaces, for the environments. So we have a protocol to do assessment in specific spaces. So we run specific scans with Sputnik and also with the water sensor. We use 2 GDV devices to do this type of test simultaneously and see it, how it's behaving in water, what is the signal we're getting from the Sputnik. And we work with the people that have suffering from EMF sensitivity. We have a set of protocol, 10 types of different scans that we can conduct in them, and we can figure out how sensitive they are, how they're responding, and different other things. Summary of the scientific validation in SPIRO is 11 case studies, 11 independent studies. Actually, it's 11. Today is 11. I just see it now. And 11 independent studies, 2 pilots, and 1 clinical trial, thanks to Professor Krotkov that helped us to coordinate this. I will show you. We have all these studies that changed. It was something that took 10 years to collect, to do it properly. And now we are in a different position because we have the scientific data to show you. For instance, this is the type of test we have in laboratories: change interference, change the way that is propagating the signal. We place the filter, and we figure out how it's behaving, how it's responding, the reduction in the emission of the cell phone, and the double-blind clinical study on SPIRO. This published already in the Journal of Applied Biotechnology and Bioengineering. And thanks for Professor Korotov that helped us to coordinate this, and studies on stress with the GDV camera, heart rate variability, and sleep quality. Actually, this is the subjects. 50 subjects, healthy, young, athletes. We use a 25 experimental group, 25 control group. We give it a simple disk, not the disk for industrial exposure, and a card for the cell phone. We have a filter for the radiation of the cell phone, and for 30 days. And in a very difficult time, because it was the end of 2021, and the results were incredible, really incredible. It's like, for us, before and after, when we start this process with independent studies, we start in 2014, my wife and I, we was really, really interested in see the results, independent studies. I mean, we found so amazing people that want to collaborate with us, that want to help us, and that's the. I will take a minute to acknowledge this because I never knew no one about Dr. K. I don't know nothing about Dr. K. I saw it in an interview. I sent her an email. I said, my wife, maybe he will answer me next year. I don't know. And he answered me in a few hours. And we got to do a Zoom call, and it was crazy because a few weeks later that we were planning how we can do a scientific study around this. Clinical study. And I received feedback from different customers in Spain, and they were starting to say to me, you know, it's incredible, the range of action of the disc is 23 feet. And I said to my wife, oh my God, we spent 4 years and almost $1 million in research to find out the freaking range of action of the filter, and these guys in Spain, they're saying to me, the same feet. I never said to them the feet. I say, okay, no. let me ask them, how do you figure out this? And they say, oh yes, we were working with Sputnik. Do you know GDV camera? Oh my God, I'm losing time here. Send me that. And they send me that. I start to look at it to Sputnik. I say to my wife, this is the answer. Because if we can show this, we can also go to customers and see how and where the response is not at all working. So we start to get involved in this in parallel with the clinical trial. It was very interesting, the synchronization, when everything is aligned, go with the flow, it start to appear, the collaboration. Julian Marin is a friend and is also a friend from Dr. K in Spain. Now he's working with us for 3 years, and we have like 150 clinical nutritionists working with us, and we help already more than 1,200 people from suffering from EMF in Spain, using BioWell, using different protocols. So we finished this, and we move forward. This is the first study with Germany and the International Association for Electrosmog Research in 2014. Very open. They did this for us in different conditions, shows improvement in heart rate variability. And I developed, after finally BioWell appears in my life, I developed a technique to teach and to give to the EMF consultants a way that we can actually see the disturbance, the quantum noise, and we can relate cross-reference of data, because we use different softwares in telecommunications. We use these EMF meters with data logging. We can download information and study this with frequency selectivity, very important. If you go to Amazon, you take one of those and you start to measure, you don't know what you're measuring. What is the source? In what frequency? That matters. So I teach to any consultant how to use this to explore. But for instance, I have in my bag, I travel always, that this is not the scientific tools. This is only for me for travel to understand my spaces. But I have to use several, because otherwise I don't know really what I'm seeing. I have to see different windows. And for instance, I already measure in the last 9 years 42 cities in 14 countries, different urban locations in Asia and Europe, in Latin America and the US. And I always need to see different windows when we are conducting research. So we're teaching this. And with this IS technique, we can cross-reference of data, and what we have is this. We are using instruments, EMF meters, RF spectrum analyzers, BioWell, a Sputnik and water sensor, everything of BioWell, everything. And always we need to use BioWell. The apps that are using in telecom, and this is very good, because when I go to any commercial project, I will get the response, I'm an engineer, I don't know nothing about this, I don't believe this is going to harm us. And what type of tool you are using? No, we are using the same tools you are using in telecom. I'm not controlling, it's not my software, I'm doing something in the software. It's your software. You can pick any software you want. The only software that I will put is the BioWell and the instrument of BioWell.